I've stepped out of the building and I'm here outside the SABC on the lawns. In fact, let me let you in on a state secret here, because every time people come to work here at the SABC, we've got 2 resident little bunnies, and people, the wonderful people at the SABC, bring some food along. So you can see all this lettuce and cucumbers for our bunnies here, who, by the way, have disappeared. And I don't blame them. They're not here for this particular interview, because this interview is focusing in on therapy dogs, and dogs that are actually trained to support people that have different mental illnesses and mental health illness. So we've got Jacqui Martheze, who's the head of strategy and wellness and innovation at Paws Work, and she's brought a few of her little paw friends along. I am going to try and sit down. I'll see if the mic will allow me to come closer to you. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having us all here today.
It is an absolute pleasure. So you've brought some of your little therapy dogs along, and I'm noticing that they're all different breeds. So it doesn't mean that there's a specific kind of breed. All dogs, can they be therapy dogs?
Absolutely. So, we truly believe that animals are therapy. I mean, they all add so much value to our mental health, our physical well-being, and even from a social perspective as well. They just add so much value. They're all different dogs. Woodrock Animal Rescue actually is the main, branch of where we're from, and Paws at Work is just a pillar in Woodrock Animal Rescue. And these are all actually rescue dogs. Of course, Dali is a Frenchie. So in rescue, we do get highly pedigree animals, and it goes to show that any one of these babies can serve as therapy babies. They just add that value. They settle our central nervous system, they lower our blood pressure, and they add all these amazing attributes to our health.
So when you speak about a therapy dog, I think let's get a little bit of help there. What exactly is a therapy dog?
So, I'm going to class a therapy dog as an animal that actually just comes and they just help us. Yeah. They kind of help us, and for whatever we need. Some people suffer with anxiety. Some people suffer with, they need some emotional support. We're living in today's times where everyone is facing some kind of battle, and it's quite phenomenal that animals, she's busy snoring right now in this moment, and the vibration of her snore is actually adding lots of value to my emotional health at the moment, actually. But I think that everyone at the moment is facing some kind of battle, may it be emotional, may it be physical, may it be mental, and I think that all animals add so much value to us, and it's been scientifically proven. I mean, there have been scientific studies showing that they do so much to us, and they release, serotonin levels, they release dopamine, oxytocin levels, which is a bonding thing as well, and we do many services. We go to retirement villages, frail care and dementia wards,
really?
And it's and the impact is amazing.
And you just let them go to whoever, and they just play with them, and it releases these beautiful feelings of love and affection and calms people down.
Absolutely, and it also it gives them an acknowledgement. It allows them to feel that they're being heard and they're acknowledged. And there are other organizations like we just did a project actually with Xiaomi, and they've just launched a mobile device, and it was quite phenomenal how dogs in today's times have come such a long way even from an adoption perspective. And they've launched their cell phone, and their whole drive was about, guys, adopt a dog. And it was just a beautiful way of launching their cell phone and promoting adopting animals, because of the value that animals add to all of our lives. And in actual fact, I was at a book launch, and I was at an event where it actually showed that people are starting to have less children and actually having more animals in their lives.
Wow.
Because of the value that animals are adding to our world and our lives.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's open for debate and a conversation. I think people still like their children, but people do treat dogs like their children, and that is a fact. Who is this? Who is coming to me now? Who is this little guy or little girl?
So her name is Boo Boo, and
Boo Boo.
she's just she's a sweet dog, and she's adding all the value. She's showing you that that you matter and that you're okay, and she's just engaging with you in every way that she's meant to.
Oh man, they really are. This one I can see is a special one for you. I mean, tell us the story about this one.
So actually, she was used for excessive breeding, and she was left in a kennel. She was just dumped in an ARB kennel. and someone went to go, and they went on holiday, and they saw her there and said, can they adopt her?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, absolutely. And she went home with them, and she just couldn't settle in a home environment. And so they brought her to Woodrock, and she's come to us, and finally she has a place where she is shown love and that she's appreciated, and she's joined our Paws at Work program.
Yeah.
And she's been a huge value to so many people, so it's been quite amazing.
So I know there's a lot of people, obviously, that have conditions, and I mean, you've seen where kids have got little dogs like this that'll come to school with them, that people will take them to work, and you get actually medical certificates to say that you need a therapy dog, and this is a dog that is actually for medical reasons. Talk to us about that.
So in South Africa, it's quite different. You can't actually get a medical certificate. It's very, you can't do it. So you'll go to your psychiatrist, and they'll give you, reasons why, you need a supportive dog. And then you can get like it's a certificate, but it's not really acknowledged here in South Africa. So it's quite difficult.
So there's a big difference between a service dog and a therapy dog.
Absolutely. And look, you do get blind dogs for the, so from a service perspective that. But emotional support dogs, it is quite difficult, I have to say, in this country.
Yeah. Oh, do you think we're moving in that direction? Because I know that is a global trend.
Look, I think that since COVID, life has changed exponentially. I think that prior to COVID, I think people had a different experience with dogs and with animals in general. And then COVID hit, and everyone was isolated, and people were at home. And all of a sudden, people needed to have animals, and they felt safe and they felt secure, and they didn't feel so alone. And so that's, I think, where the real turning point came in with animals from a therapy perspective, and also from just understanding the value that animals add to all of our lives.
So I mean, we talk about mental health programs, and that these kind of therapy dogs being central to that kind of program. I've mentioned something like dementia or depression, or many other mental illnesses, but I suppose I've trying to see what it is that these little guys can actually do, especially with somebody with dementia.
So, they just, they sit on someone's lap, first of all, and they just lower settle their central nervous system. And it's so fascinating, because they actually, just by touching them, they actually feel, they feel okay, and they actually start engaging with the animal in quite a remarkable way. I want to bring up something quickly. I know that, we also on time restraints and everything else. But in today's time, our kids, our youth, they are battling so many other things. From a social perspective and everything else, they're so attached to their cell phones, because they have to be.
Yeah.
They've got to be part of the latest, what's happening in the world, and the latest trends. And animals really give them that sense that they're okay, they're accepted. They're not judging them. How cool are you? Are you an A student? They give you this acknowledgement that you are perfect just the way you are. You're accepted just the way you are. And they engage with you, and it's such a healthy thing. I believe that all children in today's times need to be with animals, have an animal around them. And I think it adds enormous value, and it gives them a sense of responsibility, and there's just so much we can go on for days and days.
Yeah, we can. Well, listen, you're talking to the converted, so I think everyone knows I'm a huge little dog fan, so I've got mine. All I have to do is walk out the door and back inside to feel like I am the best person in the world, from the way they just greet you and love you, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you do, they love you for you. So it's a beautiful form of therapy, and so interesting to talk to us about it. Thank you for bringing them to come and visit us, and to just share some love this morning. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been incredible.
Absolute pleasure. And just one last question. I know I've got to wrap very quickly, but in terms of if somebody wants to train their dog to be a therapy dog, is there specific training that you would offer to help them?
So we don't really specialize in that field. Paws at Work was actually created for the corporates.
Okay.
So guys, you can reach out to us. We're on all social medias. Paws at Work is our handle, or you can simply email me at mentalwellness@woodrockanimalrescue.co.za, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're there, guys.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere to be found. Okay, well, I'm going to leave you on this Monday morning. It's a beautiful way to end my work day as I sit and play with these gorgeous little guys.